Breaking news, but enough about NECA's quality control. At last, the Channel 6 news team is assembled, but why do some collectors still feel like they can't get ahead? Also, Hasbro throws a bone to Star Wars fans, but is there enough meat on there to finally fund the Rancor? Plus, Target says, oops, was that a spoiler? With a set that might have you rethinking the next family game night. Don't ship your drawers, it's the Reluctant Adult Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who did not have laryngitis this week. That makes one of us, Bill.
That's right. I'm coming in clear.
So you may have to carry the load this week in case my voice decides to. We're already recording a few days late, so there's some audible sound coming out of my throat. But if I sound a little froggy, just know that I was gravely ill from Thanksgiving on.
I was very compassionate about this. I was like, "Oh, he wants to take the night off? Great, I'll get the basement worked on." Didn't do it.
There you go.
3 days. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it at all.
Yeah. I gave you all this free time and you did nothing with it.
Squandered it. I put up the Christmas tree. That's good.
Yeah. That's important.
Kids terrifying of it. So it's, I don't know.
The kids, they're scared of your Christmas tree?
No, they're not. No, I'm terrified of. I can't put up any ornaments because he's just like grabbing at everything.
Oh no, yeah. That's tricky. Yeah. You got to put them real high. All right, so we like to start off the show real hot. We like to do the top 5 stories of the week in 5 minutes. So each story gets 1 minute time, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit later. But we just want to get right off the top. So we're going to start our clock. First story, Target releases The Family That Bust Together 2-pack Egon Spangler, spoiler alert, and his granddaughter,
Phoebe Spangler
with the red shoes. So this popped up in his Target store, I think the Monday or Sunday before Thanksgiving, and people, if you hadn't seen the movie, sort of a big spoiler. The ghost of Egon Spangler features prominently in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So oops, sorry if it spoiled the movie for you.
Yep. So people, I mean, I don't think I'm actively involved in the Ghostbuster collector groups, but I am on a couple here and there recently, and people losing their crap trying to find this thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it was because, it might get pulled because of the title of the box. I had a couple ideas for that. We can get into a little bit later. Yeah. Once you secure yours, I secured mine from somebody who just was like, I've got one for $55.
There you go. Can't be that. Yeah, we'll get into that much more. But right now we got to move on to our second story, which is Hasbro's HasLab project. So breaking news tonight: Hasbro's gonna give you a Rancor keeper at the 9,000 level if it gets funded.
Yes, no package, which people are already bitching about. No package, and they're like, why no package? Yeah. So it sounds like the Rancor keeper was planned from the get-go. Later on in the line, like they call it down the pipeline, and they're just like, fine. Think so? Yeah. I have a feeling it was probably a pipeline announcement. I mean, why the heck not? You're doing the Rancor, you might as well get the Rancor keeper in at some point. Yeah. But
it just makes too much sense. And the fact that he's not even getting the special carding that all of the other pack-in figures are getting. He's just in a baggie. Just throw him in there. Yeah. Just like the trash he represents.
I mean, he's rolling in poop. He probably it's just as good as you packed him with some of that. I don't know.
Well,
he's getting his due.
We'll see if that's enough.
I think it already bumped up 100 since it was announced, which was not that long ago.
Did it make back all it's lost? All right,
I think it did.
This one's sort of unique. NECA now owns Loot Crate. This week, people became aware that there's a Build-A-Loot Crate where they have items from previous Loot Crates that you can hodgepodge together to make a Loot Crate. And the big deal here was that the Easter Bunny version of, what was it, Bebop or Rocksteady?
It was
Bebop was available for a time. So for $25, you could get him plus 4 other things. Amazing deal.
All the crap that you could get from NECA.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. I actually like this shirt. We'll talk about that a little bit.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. So I did not get there in time. Other people were able to secure their Bebop, their Easter Bunny. Rocksteady did not appear on there. I think because they made the same quantity. More people got Rocksteady because you had to get all 4 figures to get Bebop. So fewer people did that. All right. Sure. Next story. Another interesting e-tailer sort of thing, network NTWRK. They came into prominence when Hasbro worked with them for that Cobra Commander exclusive that went just the Regal just variant disaster. So they it's such a weird app. You got to go on there. They it's like live auctions, product drops, but they have toys. Right. They have Super 7 action figures on there. So the Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, Shredder, a bunch of them, $10. They were $10 on there.
You scored yourself a Mutagen Man. I got Mutagen a set of those reaction figures, sans Rocksteady.
For $5. Yeah.
$5 a piece. So if those ever ship, which they said allow 2 weeks, I'll have to go to the local Target and pick up the Rocksteady. But we'll see.
There you go. You got to complete your set. It's such a weird situation. People are like, obviously Hasbro works with them. They must be legit. We'll see if this stuff ships out. It was crazy product prices.
Yeah.
Sort of confusing. Maybe they're just getting out of the business. We don't know. And let's see. Okay. So final top 5 of the week. The second part of He-Man Revelation dropped on Netflix, and it was probably the hordiest version ever.
Gotta get my hands on that sword. But that's not the sword I'm talking about.
That was ridiculous. Whoa. It's just like Evil Lynn making out with the skull face of Skeletor.
Yeah, exactly. Need to see that. Man. I mean,
what's going on?
I think you brought it back with Skeletor when we talked about this first. It was like, I mean, he just really wanted some, and he was like, "Oh, nobody likes me because I'm bony." Well, someone
did. That's right. Oh, that's right. In the first part,
that
was part of his motivation.
He got his wish.
We'll get into this more. I think you were a bigger fan of it than I was.
But
it just, I don't know. It was very bizarre. All of it, the whole thing. Just like, I don't know. Kevin Smith. I gotta see some interviews with him explaining why he did what he did. But it's something else.
Kill off everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a lot. We need just a moment to decompress. And so how was your week? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was a great Thanksgiving. It was nice and quiet. Nice and quiet. Did the whole thing, visited the extendeds, then went back and watched this movie. Have you ever seen Rat Race? It came out in like early 2000. It had I think Mr. Bean in it. And
yes, okay. I was gonna say Mr. Bean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My mother was enthralled with it for some reason. It was all right, but it was just kind of like it had Smash Mouth in it at the end.
Well, sure. Most movies did back then.
Of course, yeah.
Some still do today.
I mean, I'd watch those movies, I think. But it was a good week.
Yeah. Cool.
I kind of got into the Christmas spirit early. Usually it takes about 2 weeks prior to Christmas for me to kind of like turn around. And now I'm kind of like, let's just do it.
Let's do it. Why not? Why wait?
Yep.
Get all the Christmas in before Omicron. Persei 8 or whatever comes and destroys us all.
Yes, the Disney Plus unicorn variant.
Oh my God. I don't know. So Thanksgiving obviously synonymous with deals, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. There were a lot of deals going on this week. Every website that sells toys had something worthwhile. Did you have any that really stood out to you?
It was tough because I want to stay away from a lot of items. Like, I don't want to collect just because it's on sale. I'm usually like that with Marvel Legends. I successfully stayed away. I partook in some Black Series figures on Cyber Monday from GameStop, which I'd been sitting on because I'm not going to pay $26 for them, but the $20 price point was a lot easier to digest. Trying to think what else. I didn't really go after a lot. I think I was pretty conservative with everything because I have everything.
Sure.
Yeah. Everything.
Amazon did have a few good deals on Marvel Legends. They had sort of one of the odd odd duck figures, but one of the more popular figures of the year, the Hood. People love him for figure photography. His grimacing face, his just sort of plain clothes look.
Right.
So he was
is
like
the character the Hood,
$10-11.
or is it the character itself just the cloth hood?
And then who's the man?
He's just some generic guy.
Is he just a generic figure?
I don't know the background of the whole thing.
That's really funny. I
seem to think that the Hood is its own sentient being.
Wow.
But who's to say?
Who's that? Well, I mean, I'm sure someone has figured it out, but I had to grab that because I've seen it in figure photography so much.
Yeah,
is that the same body that the Stan Lee figure utilized? That jacket?
I believe so. So much retooling now anyway, so
could turn that into like an Old Man Rogers with his like old man windbreaker that they all wear.
You could.
I also grabbed Odin just because he was cheap, and I've somehow started to accumulate all of these in Infinity or whatever they call it, Infinity Saga. Yeah, so I have a bunch of those now.
Yeah, you got the Thanos set.
I did. Right? I got that. Oh, that was Walmart had some good stuff too. They had that. They had the real Ghostbusters, the retro release. The Ecto 1 was $10 off. So I grabbed another one of those because you can never have enough classic Ecto 1s. Yeah.
No, I stayed away. I mean, I think some of it carried over, and then usually after the holidays, you can expect a lot of these places to go clearance mode on a lot of stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
it's going to be
for that.
It's going to be interesting next year because prices are starting to tick up based on all of the fees just to get stuff over, inflation, whatever, system you want to invent to justify raising prices. We're going to see that next year. So enjoy your low prices while you can get them, because I think this might be the end.
We talked about it a couple episodes, at least on the podcast, about Dollar Tree. I read an article today. Yes. You had brought it up. You had mentioned that it was just going to be, I think, select items. They said it's almost going to be 90%.
Wow.
Of their items are going to be marked up at least 25%.
Wow.
So basic math would tell you that now it's the $1.25 store.
You can get $5 to get you 4 items instead of 5 now. Wow. They don't have to do it. That's the thing, that they're using inflation as an excuse, whatever.
Oh, sure.
They just want to make more money. Like,
yeah,
Dollar Tree does very well for themselves.
They do.
They don't need to raise prices. They just think they can and get away with it. So
we'll see where that gets them.
Did you watch that Disney Fast Pass documentary that I sent you?
You sent it to me, but I didn't.
It's worth a watch just for the information. It's like an infographic came to life, basically, and then there's like stock footage. But it's very interesting because it talks about how FastPass was created not to make money, but to give people a fuller experience, like allow them to do more things while they're in the parks.
Right. Oh,
but this latest iteration, the Genie, that was just created to make Disney money. Like they used the pandemic as a reason to shut down the original FastPass system and now reintroduce it, but at a cost, at a fee.
Right.
So
what is it, like $17 to fast pass yourself in for a ride?
Yeah, I think like you have to pay a fee per day, and then some rides have an additional fee, like Rise of the Resistance. That's $15 itself just per person to get in there.
It's just wild.
It's pretty crazy. I've not been super in love with Disney recently, so this just sort of adds to that. But I know you guys usually come down once a year. Are you planning a trip?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say maybe give it a little time. It's not a super great time to come down.
No.
All right, so let's one more thing. I have at least one more deal. GameStop had the Lightning Collection Power Rangers Pink Ranger helmet.
Yes.
$40 off. Usually $100, only $60. Only way you can get it is through GameStop, so I don't think it's going to get much cheaper. It's still up there as of right now, but by the time you watch this, who knows? But pretty good deal, 40% off. Those are really cool.
I saw it last night when I was out picking up my GameStop figures, and I saw it and I thought of you. I was like, I hope Paul got that.
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I have all three. I don't know if I'm going to get the Lord Zed one, just because I don't, I wouldn't need to display it with the other Rangers, so it's sort of weird.
Yeah. He's squishy too.
Is it squishy?
Yeah, I think they're using. I think at least the brain part. I think they're using a real feel.
Well, that changes everything.
Game changer.
I love real feel stuff.
Yes,
if it was hard plastic, I was gonna be like,
no, I believe.
Ooh, it's like a cush ball. I want it.
I believe the portion of it with the exposed brain or that brain texture will be some soft feel to it. All right.
Well, you might have just sold me on it.
There you go.
Another steal or deal, real quick. Kohl's today. I saw that they have Mario toys for 25% off, and they have the Jax 4-inch articulated Mario, which a lot of them look really good. Like some of them, I think I have one right here. Very, very well sculpted and realized. I like these a lot. You see them at Target. So they're usually $10, $7.50 with the 25% off. But if you return something from Amazon to Kohl's, you get a $5 Kohl's cash coupon or whatever. So that brings that down to $2.50 per figure, and you can only do it once per transaction. But you could keep going back and return stuff, like order something from Amazon just to return it. Oh, well, free 1-day shipping. Thanks, I'll return this tomorrow.
Wow.
Little caveat: I did run into an issue where there were 2 series available. One of the Marios rang up as like a collectible instead of a toy, so it gave it only 5% off, and I was like, no, excuse me, this should be 20. Like, what is even 5%? Why would that even be a sale?
Of course.
So I had to fight with them, but luckily I took a photo that I posted on our Instagram to show them. It says 25% off. So I love
confusing enough to shop at Kohl's as it is.
My God, they didn't ask me to open a credit card. I think that was the first time that's ever
probably
happened.
Would have gotten it for like negative amounts of money at that point. They would have owed you Marios.
I know. They used to always ask if I want to open a card, and my stock answer would always be like, "Oh no, we're trying to buy a house. We can't, open more credit." But now we have a house, so I always feel like, "Oh, maybe I should open a Kohl's card."
There you go.
What is the benefit to the Kohl's card? You get like a certain % off that first purchase. Like you got to make a big purchase the first time.
I think you get a good percentage off, but I think you also get a lot more like random rewards coupons dollars back.
Stuff,
yeah. My canned answer for like going to Home Depot was always that I rent.
Then you can't get a credit
card.
Have
you thought of solar, sir? I can't because I rent.
I rent. Oh, I'd love to.
I rent. I can't. I'd love to, but I rent.
Yes, I can't. I'm sorry.
Oh, how about new cabinetry? I can't because I rent.
Sorry. Ooh, maybe next year.
It's really tough.
So every week you surprise us with your outfits, and
sure.
This week I wasn't so much surprised. In fact, I sort of expected it. So we both here have the. There we go.
Yes.
This is the newsroom, the Channel 6 newsroom NECA sets.
Yep.
So what was the deal with this? They sold it online, but they had to put some other junk in there just to differentiate it from like what Target's gonna sell.
So from what I know, Target's just going to be selling the figures.
Yeah, the box
with the camera and the lights.
Yeah.
And this was similar to the touring last year's San Diego, right. The Coming Out of Our Shells Mutagen Tour touring gear that they were giving out. But it was just thrown into the box. It was like
right.
It wasn't packaged. I was expecting like a separate packaging, but it was just tossed in there. So you get like a mini poster, you get a pin, you get the shirt, and you get the patch and the lanyard.
Which is the stupidest thing. The lanyard, I know they have the one with the autograph for the movie April.
Oh, yeah.
This is the stupidest thing. I'm not a pin guy, but I appreciate pins, and this is a nice enough pin.
I do like the Channel 6 pin. This one is at least I like pins based off of media.
I know people like collect pins, and they have like little pin boards that they stick them in. Maybe I have to start that. All these random pins I'm getting. This is
Don't go to Disney looking for pins.
No, forget that. This is
yeah, okay. Oh, that's nice.
But it's what is it? What do you do with it? It's just a little printout.
You get it framed, and you can put it in the background maybe somewhere. Ooh. I don't know if you're doing figure photography.
Can get it autographed by the voice actors maybe.
I was looking at this, And I was looking at this shirt. The turtles don't feature prominently on this shirt.
Are they on it at all?
They're scaling up. At least two of them are scaling up.
Oh, I see.
The top of the building, and there's one on the roof. Actually, the one on the roof might be Slash. So Slash has two separate appearances on this T-shirt.
Oh, that's weird.
He's on the rooftop and he's on the bottom. And then you get Rex 1, who I'm assuming we're probably going to get a figure of at some point. And then you get Bebop and Rocksteady in like potato outfits.
What, potato outfits?
Yeah, you looked at this shirt?
Oh.
They're
in their human form.
In their human form.
That's very bizarre.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that. Yeah, it's a very unique design with all the B-list characters, the villains.
It's a nice shirt though. The quality is much better than that Loot Crate.
It's nice
shirt.
and soft. Oh, that
it is
yellow highlighter shirt was the worst.
Oh, it feels great.
Yeah, it's nice. I hope you can wash it and it doesn't just like come to pieces or the design. I always make an effort to flip my shirts inside out before I put them in there, so that I think that helps like the design not get destroyed.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
No, you don't worry about that.
Well, I don't buy enough graphic tees anymore. I'm just a blank t-shirt kind of guy now. My wife just through taking her shirt off, it's always inside out. So whenever I go to fold, I have to put it back, and I'm like, this is so absurd. How do you take your shirt off?
Yeah.
I don't know how my wife takes her shirt off.
No, you should probably find out. That might be one of the questions on like the honeymoon game or whatever, the newlywed game one. The problems. So that NECA, the NECA Channel 6 set, did you open it? You don't open anything. What am I asking you?
Well, I took the slipcover off. I'm going to at some point open all these. I took the slipcover off. I think at some point I'm just going to get a wall here and just display all of them. It's kind of like doing this now. It's like a tour of the room in itself. It's like, what's behind Bill's back now?
Yeah.
So I might just open them that way, or just kind of leave them in package and like display them around me. Like they're all going to fall on top of me. But I opened up, it was just Velcroed. So I opened up, I looked at the figures, made sure everything was in there, made sure I didn't get two of each figure as opposed to the
that was funny.
The camera and that was funny. The lighting equipment. Yeah.
So some guy, he posted a picture of it instead of getting the camera. So it's like 2 layers of trays. Right. The front layer is the figures, and then behind that it must be the same depth. It's the cameras and the lighting equipment.
Yes.
Instead of the lighting equipment and the cameras, he got 2 trays of the 4 figures. So it just looks like they're doubled. And I was saying, like, I think I would prefer that. Like if there was going to be a mistake, I think that would be the mistake I would want. But you're like, no, you're missing the cameras.
I've seen a lot of people trying to just sell the cameras off.
It's they don't care about that as much.
I just want the characters.
Yeah. Well, you really need to have a newsroom display if you're going to incorporate those cameras.
Right.
But I'm a fan. I think it's cool. It's a good set. I didn't open that set, but I like you. I looked at it. Like I think that's probably all I need to do. I'm still waiting on that Vernon Rat King 2-back. Like,
yes,
there's just a lot coming. Like before I make any opening decisions, I need everything in hand,
right?
Because I want to see maybe this works better as a mint and box collection. I don't know.
We need our Q4 offerings.
Oh my God. We have 31 days left as of this recording. In Q4, I'm not. Although I was, this came. I don't know. Things could just start rolling out.
We paid for all of it, so I mean, it's not like.
That's right. Yeah.
I told my wife. It showed up at the door. I told my wife, I'm like, well, I paid for that 6 months ago.
That's already been paid.
Money's gone.
Yeah, that money has been gone. It probably would cost twice as much if it was made today. So we saved money.
Right. I'm investing. How dare you?
Yeah. I know. Honestly, it's a good investment. Like this plastic, you can melt it down and sell it. It's gonna be worth a lot in the future. All right, so let's go back to our top story today: the family that busts together.
Woo!
This set. So I had not seen the movie yet. I didn't see it until the day after this popped up. So I was spoiled. Not that I didn't anticipate
you
this
didn't,
to be.
You didn't expect it? Okay.
we read those spoilers back in the day, and I know you were saying that the spoilers were wrong. I feel like they just sort of finessed the movie a little bit to like take out some of those points.
Okay.
But like, Egon still was featured as a ghost, and that was part of those original spoilers. So
he was, yes, that's true.
So I was anticipating this being a plot point. So I wasn't like, oh my God, it ruined the movie for me. But I really wanted to see the movie. And it was excellent.
He was a ghost early on too, so he just kind of manifested physically by the end.
Yeah.
I saw it twice. I saw it with my daughter again.
Yeah.
Terrified her. It's not the same Ghostbusters. It's not the same. It's not the same thing that you and I grew up with.
No, not at all. And it couldn't be
different.
I don't think a movie like that could be made today. That is an 80s movie. Like 80s movies don't exist anymore. You just can't.
And they call it a lightning in a bottle movie.
Yeah. It's just like you go back and watch all those movies, like you watch the National Lampoon movies, like anything that had like SNL people in it. I don't know if it was just the combination of people that were making it or what, but movies just aren't like that anymore.
They aren't. I feel like Ghostbusters for me, and I was thinking about this today because I was able to go in second time seeing it and kind of tear it apart a little bit and look at it in a different light. But I'm like thinking about it more and more. Ghostbusters, the original one, is kind of like one of those movies that you share with a friend, and then all the parts that you think are funny, you're like looking over to see if they're laughing and they're not laughing at you. And you're like,
oh no.
Yeah. You're just expecting it, and then by the end you're like embarrassed that you even showed your friend this movie that you loved, and then you love it less because of this.
Oh. Well, I discovered the cartoon first.
Okay. Yep.
So I was a fan of the cartoon and the toys, I imagine, first, and then I was over at like one of my parents' friends' house, and they were playing the movie. And I was like, oh, that's neat. They made a movie based on the cartoon. And they were like, oh, let me explain. And then I think I was able to see Ghostbusters 2 in theater. So like by then I had it figured out. So like I came at it completely backwards, where I was a fan more of Ghostbusters, like the concept of Ghostbusters and the fun of that more than the movie itself.
Right. I think even for myself, I mean, I can relate more to Ghostbusters as a fan, both of the movie and the physical, the toys, everything like that, than I can for Star Wars. Because you and I were both born after the original run of Star Wars, but you and I were both 1 year old by the time Ghostbusters came out. However, we weren't watching it when we were 1, but we were introduced to it, much younger.
Yeah.
But I mean, that movie, I'm looking at it. They could have subtracted some stuff from this new Afterlife movie, and it might have worked a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel.
Oh, so originally it sounded like you loved it. Now you're coming back down to earth a little bit.
I still like it. I really like what they did with the granddaughter. I feel like that could have carried the whole movie.
It basically didn't it? Isn't that the whole plot?
That's true. The thing is, though, I think by the end, making the stakes so high, with like the reintroduction of Gozer and the Terror Dogs and just kind of recycling that again, I feel like they should have just kind of made it a lesser ghost. So that's not even a ghost; it's a demigod. But then
you needed to have an explanation for why Egon just left everything.
You do.
Like it had to be like the most important thing.
But it's so out of character, and you really feel like, oh, you think that these guys would disband like this because there were no ghosts, and then they would abandon the firehouse and the containment unit at the end.
Right.
It's just like thinking. That's all. Like if I just don't think about it, then I'm not like overthinking about it. But
I mean, they were in a position where Harold Ramis died, and they decided they wanted to write this story where it's centered around his character and basically his death. So this is the story that they came up with. And I think of all the stories they could have done, this was a good one for a lot of reasons. You know, it was a good tribute to Harold Ramis.
It is
the character.
No, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Yeah. I'd see it again. I'll probably purchase it when it comes out just to kind of have it physically. But I I think obviously with most movies, you tend to pick it apart afterwards. In most current movies, like I can look at Ghostbusters and I have nothing bad to say about Ghostbusters. Couldn't pick it apart one bit. Plot holes, anything like that. But like now it's like, oh man, the Ecto couldn't do that physically. It's too heavy of a car. It can't fly like that.
Yeah.
But that's just my jaded adult mind working. But yeah, so this family that busts together pack.
Well, hold on. I want to just finish up on the movie. Obviously, you had to have the original guys in there.
You did,
and that was going to be the trickiest part because you wanted to feature them prominently enough, but they just physically can't be in the movie a lot. Like these guys are old. Right. You couldn't give them a lot of heavy lifting. So I think what they settled on was fine. It just sort of, it felt more like that scene in Casper where Dan Aykroyd runs out and he's like, who are you going to call? Somebody else?
Yes.
Like it just seemed like they were doing a cameo in someone else's movie, which is sort of what it was.
It was.
It was just sort of weird, but I think they gave them enough. Like it was enough to be like, okay, this is it. I mean, maybe it seems like Winston's going to continue on, but Bill Murray, right. Dan Aykroyd, I think we've seen the last of them dressed as Ghostbusters,
which is fine. I appreciate that each one of them had their own single moment in the film with Ray in his bookstore, Peter with Dana doing the electro zapping.
Right.
Psychic machine, and then Winston kind of like wrapping up, who the Ghostbusters were at the end.
No Lewis.
Couldn't
get him back.
Couldn't get Slimer back either. I wonder what that guy's up to.
That's interesting. I do wonder if they just thought that would be too much.
Well, Jason Reitman was in an interview and he said, we're out in Oklahoma. Why is Slimer out in Oklahoma?
Okay, so they did put a little. They didn't just stick everything in there.
He did put a little thought into it. He's like, we're in Somerville, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Why would we have the ghosts that were in New York,
right,
terrorizing these townsfolk?
Well, maybe Egon brought him with him as like his pet or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
There were reflecting on it. There were not a lot of ghosts.
There were not. And my daughter, in fact, even mentioned that an hour and 15 minutes in, she's like, are there any more ghosts? I think after the Muncher attack, she was like, are there any more ghosts in this movie? And I was like, yeah, there are a couple more coming up, but
there was just like that. No. There was just that big eye ghost that popped out and then like the zombie looking guy at the bar.
Right.
But I guess really you only see ghosts in the montage in the first one.
It's true. So I mean, in the first movie, you get the librarian, which then in this one you get the terror dog kind of forming in his farmhouse, and then you get Slimer, which now you get Muncher, and then you get your montage.
Yep.
Actually, there's a couple. Well, you do the montage because you have that ghost, the Dan Aykroyd ghost, when his fly unzips. You have that ghost, but I don't think they couldn't have done that in this film. And then they have the large montage with all the ghosts.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And then no Destructor, no Stay Puffed.
Right. No.
You had the mini puffs.
Choose the form. Right. Which I loved. We basically saw all of them in the commercials. So that was a little disappointing, but it was nice. They're just they're like gremlins mixed with Stay Puft. And I think it's just a fun character. Like, turn off your brain. Don't think about why they even exist in this universe. Like, how did they spring to life? Don't worry about that so much.
No, I enjoyed their little micro deaths at the end where the flames just kind of engulfed them and they were like tiny little marshmallows just evaporating.
Yeah,
not evaporating.
There were a lot of callbacks and fan service, as they say. But I think that was warranted, especially if you're going to continue the series. You got to kind of get that out of the way to of course give everybody the feels.
I hope we see something. I hope we do.
Yeah, I think
whether it's the kids, or do you think it'll be the kids, or do you think it'll be a different ghostbusting crew?
I mean, that's a good question. It could go either way. It depends. I think the kids were great. I think if they can get them back and they want to do it and they have a good story, I think they were great. I mean, it's basically like Stranger Things, but it's Ghostbusters. So
right.
I was surprised at how little Trevor was in it. I
was as well.
He was just the B storyline. It was all. I'm sorry with the names. Phoebe. Okay. It was all Phoebe. It was her story, start to finish. It was the Spangler story. And I think that was the best way to do it. It's just sort of surprising, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen him in Stranger Things, so it's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with him differently here? Is he going to play the same character that he plays on in Stranger Things? Is he going to be... I kind of liked him as like that awkward, clumsy teenage doofus.
Yeah. No, I think they did a good job with all the characterizations and giving people stuff to do. I liked Paul Rudd in that role. I liked the mom. I thought that all worked pretty well. It was, a little ham-fisted when they became the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper.
Right.
But I think, necessarily so. You can't draw that out too much.
I did enjoy Carrie Coon's, some of her one-liners. Whereas, like, I've got no bars.
Yes.
And they're talking about, I got no bars. She's like, oh, there better be a bar.
Be a bar.
That's funny.
Yeah, I thought the humor was good. I thought the writing was good. I got to see it again. Maybe I'll start picking it apart too. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a perfectly acceptable finale to the original Ghostbusters story. And I'm excited to see if they pick it up and move it somewhere else. I think there's a lot of stories that are there to tell.
So too. Maybe we got just
whether it's a TV show, it could be a TV show. It doesn't need to be a movie. Yeah.
Could be anything.
All right, so let's move from a movie to a TV show. Got to talk about He-Man Revelation Part 2. This wraps it all up.
It does.
I'm just gonna let you go. Just tell me what happened. So, I did actually watch it this morning.
5 episodes in, or just 5 episodes, which is great. It just came out real quick. Prince Adam's stabbed. He gets brought back to life with magic powers from Teela. You find out that I think we knew. Did we know in the original, or was it revealed to her that her mother was the
sorceress?
What the heck? The sorceress. Thank you.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. I felt like that was tacked on, but honestly, I know so little about the original.
I know so little about it, and I think that's why I like it so much. I know so little about He-Man outside of the figures. Right. I don't know any of the lore. It was just like gimmicky, and then at the end, there's a moral at the end of it,
Yeah. But there's so much of it. There's the mini comics, there's the cartoon, there's like a lot real to it, of course.
Yeah.
And then there's the live action movie. It's just it's a very dense universe, but it's such a silly universe too. It's sort of funny.
Yeah, throw whatever the heck, put this part on this part, and there's your character.
Right.
But I mean, for me, you and I both like the 2000 series a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We collected the figures from that. It was geared more towards a more mature audience. It had for a kid show
influence.
It did. I feel like this almost could have been a direct continuation of that over the original.
It was sort of like 80s. A combination. I felt like.
But it had, I think it wrapped itself up pretty good. It did kill off a couple more characters.
Fisto. Go.
Yeah. Too much fisting today. Gotta get out of here. Oh my God,
that was ridiculous.
Whatever he said. But those were the lines. Those were the lines from the original show. It's not like they weren't there.
30 years later, like I don't know. You have to adapt.
Fiston's making me feel good.
I know, it was ridiculous. That was the thirstiest 5 episodes of a cartoon I've ever. Just ridiculous.
Yes, we got to finally see. I think it was our first sex scene or pseudo sex scene, close enough to it in the media, with Evil in there trying to taking the power sword. I don't know. I think I liked it a lot. I did. Yeah. I don't know why. I think it was a little bit more condensed in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just had one sole thing, and then you had Berserker He-Man, as it were.
Yeah, he was basically the Hulk.
He was basically the Hulk. He could be defeated by the power of his father's love and an apology.
Yeah, that was something. The Mattel figure is totally undersized. Have you seen
it? Is
for the
I have seen
whatever they call him. Yeah, they gotta.
Is he packaged? Is he packaged with Orko?
I think he comes with Orko. Yeah.
Oh, so you have no choice but to get him in order to get Orko.
Whatever.
I guess I'll wait. I picked up Battle Cat because Battle Cat was at Target for I think $25.
Ooh. I picked up decent. Battle Cat. He's all right. I picked him up originally too because I was just trying to like get into the line, and I thought he'd be a cool display piece. He's got the articulation, but like there's not enough movement, like a variety and poses there for me.
Okay.
He needs those McFarlane giant ball joints, like the horse.
Oh yeah, there we go. So you can have a side swivel. No, I walked into Target the other night and they had Series 2 with like Spikehor and Tila and Beast Man. And I was like, oh, I can't find Man-at-Arms. But there was Man-at-Arms and his box was all like ripped to shreds. So I checked it over and he had all his pieces. So I was like, guess I'm buying these. Back into it. Just when I think I'm getting out.
I know.
I
said the same exact thing. In Series 3 has Stinkor, and I think I need Stinkor. So we'll see how much further I go.
I think I can stop because they're going to do the Trapjaw and
the
Triclops deluxe figures.
I don't like those.
Well, I got Faker for $20 because he's on sale at Target, so I grabbed him.
He's not even in the show, is he? Fakor?
He is at the very beginning of the show. He fakes out. Okay. He fakes out the sorceress.
Okay.
And that's how Skeletor gains entry with Spikehor.
Do you think they'll do another version of Evil Lyn, like her final form?
Oh, maybe. It's all beefed up, deluxe and everything.
I thought that was funny. Yeah. The first half of the show was about Tila, and then the second half was about Evil Lyn. And then He-Man was in it, but he was like this mutated version. So it's like if you wanted He-Man, you really didn't get him.
Well, it's like Back to the Future. It's like those three movies, they're not necessarily about Marty McFly. They're all about the men in his life.
That's interesting.
So the first one's about his father. The second one's about Biff. And the third one's about Doc Brown.
Oh, all right.
You didn't know that? Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess that's true.
It's the truth.
I have to go back and watch them now with that in mind.
He's just the vessel that interacts with all three in terms of changing their lives.
But he's still like this. He's
still the central character.
Right.
But in terms
he is the mechanism through which the story flows. Yeah,
sure.
He-Man wasn't even part of the story at all. Like he didn't even need to be there. He was dead for most of it.
We're gonna get in part 3 or whatever they're gonna do. They're gonna do that robotic Hordak messenger, the motherboard. Motherboard's gonna be the focus for the next round. It's gonna be He-Man and then Motherboard.
As little as I know about He-Man, I know even less about Hordak and that whole set. So
She-Ra's bad guy. He was prominently in the She-Ra show.
Oh, was that She-Ra's counterpart?
Yes.
All right.
But he's Skeletor's mentor.
That's nice. So we'll see if that gets picked up again. It's gonna be another 12 years because they haven't started.
Another 12 years. They gotta dispose of Kevin Smith first. The fans have to string him up and toss him out.
An interesting man.
How
He's got
dare
some interesting thoughts in his head. All right, so we know that there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out. Tickets went on sale this week, which it's funny to me that tickets are like an event now. Like
Spider
the fact
Monday.
That the movies are selling out. Like are people even going to movies? I don't know, but
yeah,
the fact that this movie's coming out and it's incorporating all of these characters from the previous movies means that people want toy versions of these characters, and they're not waiting to see if Hasbro even makes them. They're going to eBay and buying up the old Toy Biz versions. So if you have that Green Goblin from 2002, you're sitting pretty because he is selling for hundreds of dollars. which I wish I had a listing from like 5 months ago to see how much that figure was worth. It must not have been much because I had it and I was selling off all of those, and it must not have been worth it to me to even list him. So I still have him, and I just sold him for $80. So
I wonder if you could have back then and been like, we might be getting these villains, and just like before the rumors really started to kind of manifest, if you were smart enough to kind of start picking them up for $5 a piece. Yeah, because they were not a lot of money on the secondary market at all.
Like a couple bucks, at probably all. Like $10.
Yeah.
If
get this out of my house,
man. If you
it's like
were
all that
smart
old Toy Biz X-Men stuff. Wait till that pops up again, and everyone's like, I want this Famke Janssen figure, Jean Grey. She's ageless. She'll be in the next round. She'll look the same.
It is a testament to
80
those
years old, but
to those Toy Biz figures,
Toy Biz sculpts,
and that they were good enough 20 years ago.
Spider-Man came out in 2002, so
so like 20 years ago. That's you can still put them next to current day toys and be like, that works okay. That's pretty good. There's a Spider-Man on here, the one that came with the gargoyle. For $1,800 it ended. I don't believe that it actually sold for that much. It's loose. I had this figure too. I sold him during the summer. I don't believe it actually sold for this much, but it's just, it's so funny that there are people that really want these figures all of a sudden.
Want them fast. I mean,
Wrestler Spider-Man is going for a lot, $300 on the card.
That's just
wild. I had that one too. I had all of these.
People were throwing up tickets because I think there was a snafu with the ticketing system.
Yeah.
For the Spider-Man Monday or whatever they were calling it, and nobody got tickets. But then people were selling the tickets on eBay. But it was one of those like fake listing things where they were listing it for like $25,000.
Oh, sure.
For the shock value. I think my local theater is playing it on Thursday at 3 p.m. So the 3 p.m. showing, I could see it before anybody.
I mean, this comes out on my birthday, and I'm home now, so I can see it whenever too. Like,
yes,
I'm just not motivated to see it. And maybe that's good. Maybe if I go in with low expectations, I'll actually enjoy it, because I did not love the second one. I did not love it.
No, well, I think they just entered into an agreement to make 3 more with him.
I did see something. I didn't see if it was confirmed, but are they Sony movies and then Marvel's just like attached? It's such a weird deal.
I believe they're Sony movies, so who even knows?
Yeah, I just don't love it, and it's just, I guess it's better than nothing, but it's so weird. They're like sharing him.
Right.
I think he's fine as Spider-Man. I just don't like this incarnation of Spider-Man where he's basically Iron Man Jr.
Well, so here's the thing.
Not what I want.
Somebody had speculated that at the end of this movie, you're going to find out that Doctor Strange's spell works, and nobody recognizes him as Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So he loses that ability to get whatever Iron Man suit he wants. Aunt May doesn't know that he's Spider-Man. Mary Jane, nobody. Nice. It's a clean slate. Just nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And then he goes to college and he's got no money, and he's poor Peter Parker taking photographs with a homemade suit. I would see that. That would be great. The only thing that it comes into is the only problem that it comes into at that point is like, who are his villains? Because he's already going to be fighting some of the main ones in this one. So is he going to be hunting and looking for the versions of like Green Goblin in his universe or Doc Octopus?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, he's probably going to have to fight Venom and Morbius.
Dr. Michael Morbius. Yes.
Yeah. That looks ridiculous as well. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't have any skin in the game for this Spider-Man. I've had enough Spider-Mans in my life.
You have.
Spider-Man 2 is probably still the best Spider-Man.
It was on the other day. I was watching it. I was like, this holds up. It is fun.
I want them to be on Disney Plus so I can just watch them all. I don't need to have to hunt around on FX or whatever.
It was on FX. Yeah.
FX exactly got the movies. All right. Very funny. Very quickly. WWE Elite. This is the Mattel line. Elite 92. Pictures came out today. The set, I'm trying to find, I think I can remember. The set includes a new version of Bray Wyatt the Fiend. It includes Scarlet. It includes Ric Flair. It includes Charlotte Flair. It includes Rey Mysterio and one other person. And 2/3 of the 6 figures in that no longer work for WWE.
Ooh.
So, Adam Cole is the other one. So they've either been fired or quit. Only 2 figures out of the 6 are actual WWE superstars. So that's,
oh wow,
and that's not even on the shelves yet. So it's going to be like a few more months before you see those. Like, that's something's going on with your company when you're making product of people that don't even work for you anymore.
And the entertainers, they have no say in like getting those pulled, or
no, they all you sign a merchandise contract, and I think WWE could pull it, but like at this point, you're going to put out a set that's 2 figures.
Didn't you say that when the wrestler is fired, then you have a comment about when the wrestlers were fired that it's very unceremonious and they just like box up your stuff and you're like, get out?
Yeah, there were stories that like if you had gear left somewhere, that they would just mail it to you in a trash bag.
All this stuff.
It's a very strange time in wrestling and for the WWE. Like, people keep speculating that they're cutting costs so they can sell the company, and it's like, who's going to buy it? Maybe it'll be Disney. I don't know. It's very weird. Thank God there's AEW putting out good products, good content, because WWE is very quickly becoming unwatchable. It's just a very strange time. So we'll see what happens.
Casualty of the pandemic. Well, at least I'll blame it on that.
Well, yeah, that they very, very well blame it on that, but I don't know. Oh, I want to go back to Fresh Monkey Fiction. Let me look up.
Oh,
they have some new teases. Actually, let me go on Instagram. That's where they post everything. Fresh Monkey Fiction. Okay.
Aren't they doing some like if this certain amount gets ordered, they're almost like Kickstarter style things, so they'll include like a pipe.
I sort of figured out how this works. So if you go on their website, I think it's the number is 5,000 that has to be ordered for each version of the character to go into production, and they have a little ticker. Oh, only 500. Okay, so 500 minimum pieces. So they have, if you go to freshmonkeyfiction.com, they have the traditional Santa, zombie Santa, Terminator Santa. This is Krampus. They have Krampus in the red suit. They have camo Santa. So those are all the Santas. And then all of the elves have been funded. And then the robe, like accessory pack with the cape. And okay, now they've announced a artist proof version of Santa with no paint. He's just white, but I actually like that a lot. I like to see the bear sculpt. It says there's only been 2 pre-ordered. I think that's probably incorrect, but it's currently locked. So that's the next one coming up. They've teased a couple things on their Instagram. They have 2 pairs of gloved hands, which is something that I think we talked about, where you don't really think of Santa as having bare hands. Like, he should have mittens or gloves. So these are white, like patent leather gloves. Okay. I wish they all came with that. And then he has a hand holding a pipe, and the hand is the skin is dark skin. So it's not like white Santa. So someone was saying that it was like the Eddie Murphy version of from SNL. So we'll have to wait and see like how close they get to that. And then it looks like
could it just be an instance where the pipe is unpainted and they just left the hand unpainted as well?
No, because the pipe is black and the hand is brown. Oh, and then there's like red in the pipe. So no, that does not fly. And then there's another picture here that looks like it's the 3 lumps of coal, but they're gold. So I don't know what that's gonna be. But I love this line. I hope I remember to back it. Because I mean,
you got 31 days to do.
I know. I got till the end of the year. I got to figure out. I want to see what else they are going to offer, because maybe they're going to offer something that I want even more, and I don't need to get like something else.
Like his sleigh. They should have done reindeer. Why did they have to do the nutcrackers? Why didn't they do reindeer?
I don't know. Maybe that's for next year. They could do a whole diorama.
Zombie reindeer.
I hope these turn out as nice as they look in 3D renders. Like that's not always a sure thing. Like look at the loyal subject stuff, like those Ninja Turtles. Those look pretty okay in renders, but the actual product not so hot.
Oh yeah, then you get the I don't even remember what their best action figures.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. Have you seen that the 4-pack, the black and white turtles?
I've seen it online. I haven't seen it in person.
$75 for that.
No thanks.
And it's probably selling well just because it's got turtles, the name Turtles.
It's a pizza box.
I do like the packaging.
I like seeing the photos where it's the pizza box, but then you have the anti-security, the anti-theft, wiring around it. It's like someone might steal this.
Someone's gonna steal this pizza. It's a very good pizza.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd have to find something in my local Walmart. In that collector's section, there's nothing.
They got the one that I would go to. I think they got rid of it because I did my. Speaking of our toy hunts, you have an update on the whereabouts of Collector's Crush. Is that correct?
Oh, I do. So curiosity got the better of me, and I sent you a screen capture of a comment on one of their posts. And this is from a Clayton Henry, and it reads, "Everyone, for your information, I ran into the woman in these videos at the post office a few weeks ago. I am not even a toy hunter, but I asked her about the channel, whether or not it's her career. Sounds like they're busy with other stuff. She said they were taking a break from Collector's Crush, but they'll be back."
All right, well, there it is.
There it is.
We have to make sure that we're established as a legitimate operation by the time they get back, so that we can.
We're getting there. Well, I was thinking that here's the reason why I was looking today, because one of the big rumors was, we don't have time to do it because we're in college and we're doing this. Finals are coming up. The kids are coming back, for the winter break. So I was expecting maybe some new content to roll in, a couple new toy hunts. Maybe they moved. They got to move because, hey, maybe they ran out of steam at their old targets. They have to go to a new target. Find a new location and go to the same 3 targets over again.
Yeah. It's just so weird because, like, if I was going to have to cancel this week because I have no voice, I would have at least, like, posted something or, like, had you do something to say, like, hey, we'll be back. But, like, it's been months and months. They just, they didn't give any indication that it was ending or anything. No. It's very bizarre. We can't corroborate this guy's story that he ran into her at the post office. So we can't sort of take that at face value, but
we do.
We'll see. People are concerned that they're dead, so it'd be nice if they weren't dead.
That'd be nice.
For everybody, for them especially, to not be dead.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be a comeback no matter what. Everyone will be like, whoa. Like you said, they're either going to be like, we hate you now, or everyone's going to be like, oh, they're back.
They have risen.
Then you watch the subs just go to the moon.
You have to look see if they. Do you think people unsubscribe if people don't post content?
I've looked, and they're still sitting at like 13.2.
Yeah,
and that has not changed.
It's a good amount of people though. Let's go back. We're running out of time here, but let's go back to Network, because what a weird app. Like, I don't understand it at all. Like, I guess I don't collect shoes or like $700 hoodies.
Right.
So maybe this is
like
more
a lot of this was like urban vinyl, odd Medicom bears, designer bears, things like that. And then they do like product drops, but they also interview the person involved, and then they almost make you watch the video that pops. It was very hard to navigate. I was like, what am I doing on this? And then at the end you're like, is this even legitimate? What did I just
That's the thing. Everybody is wondering, are we actually going to get these toys? Because why are they so cheap? Like a $55 toy for $10, $5 in case of Mutagen Man. Like maybe they're just getting out of this part of their business and they just like get it out. But it's very strange. I posted a link for people to go check it out, and you get $10 credit every time someone signs up through like. So I got a cool $250 to spend on network. So I'm hoping they have something to buy in the future, or I'm gonna have to buy some really stupid hoodies or something just to spend it. So
no, those reaction figures are $18 at Target. So it's like to get them for $5 a piece.
Why not?
Like, why not? Let's give it a try.
It shows how little I care about those, because I was like, those were available for a long time, like the whole night, and I was like, nope, I still don't care. I don't want these. not doing it for me. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. Well, we did it. We had a show this week. I wasn't sure it was going to happen. So that was nice. Do you have anything else before?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have anything else. No.
Okay. No. Well, very good. Well, you know what we say. We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. So my voice made it. That was good. I wasn't sure it was going to happen.
That is good. That is good.
There was like a point.
I can get to my Swedish fish.
I was surprised you moved your background, because that guy made a comment about how he liked that other background so much.